Hi, my name is Amanda Panacea, and you're listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. This is a community for self-healers, biohackers, practitioners, and any other helping professionals. You're in the right place if you're seeking conversations about how pain becomes passion, the connection between physical, energetic, mental, and our spiritual self, finding your body's ancient wisdom, the latest biohacking technologies, clinical research, and if you just want to nerd out about complex biochemistry and quantum physics. But this is also for entrepreneurs who seek infinite abundance and a supportive community. So pour a cup of King coffee or Sisters tea and let's join the revolution. Traditional testing has a really hard time with being able to determine if somebody has Lyme, like you just mentioned with yourself, or mold is also equally hard because of urinalysis is not fully accurate either. And parasites, we really have no good test for parasites. Even like the GI map, I think it tests for 5, and you have to have the eggs in there. Even if there's like a piece of the parasite under the microscope, they still can't diagnose that that's a parasite, which is crazy to me. So yeah, how does this compare with the other types of testing that we have out there?
Yeah, so it's totally different than a blood test, a stool test, a urinalysis, as those are diagnosable. Mm-hmm. And but with bioenergetics, bioresonance, we're not diagnosing whatsoever. And that's important too, because, someone might have something like salmonella resonate, and that just means we've had an exposure to the pattern of it. But when we're testing for toxins, when we're going through that filtration process and we're testing for so many different ones that would be hard to pick up in a urinalysis, blood test, things like that, when we're picking up the resonance of it, it tells us that it's negatively impacting the body. And so it's negatively impacting that bioenergetic field. And so if that's the case, we want to make sure we clear it, but we want to make sure we clear it in a process that that client can handle. And that's a big difference, I think, for some people. I know, like for me specifically, I might have heavy metals resonating, but I might not have a single formula that's designed to clear metals. And that's really important to know, because even though they're there, my body might not be able to handle a detox for it yet, because heavy metals can be really harsh when you detox them. And so that's how I look at the testing, as taking it one step further to address the toxins, because even though they're present, it might not be ready. They might not be ready to actually start physically attacking with an herb or homeopathic or anything like that. And when we're looking at toxins, we're also analyzing them in the analogy of an onion. So if we have an onion, and at the center of the onion is ideal optimum health, and over the years we've been exposed to chemicals and bacterias and things like that, where we have all these layers of gunk, we are analyzing the top layer at every session that we do a test. So when we're testing, we're seeing all of basically what's at the surface, because that's going to be the easiest to clear. And so say someone has been chronically ill for 20 years, and that person thinks it's one specific thing that is creating all her issues. Maybe she had Epstein-Barr when she was a teenager or in her early 20s or something like that. And so she's thought for this whole time that she has been struggling with EBV, and that's why she is the way she is. So when she gets her results back and doesn't see anything in that realm come up, or nothing specific to detox it, it might be confusing for that person. But at the same time, it could be that resonating EBV is so deep, she can't deal with it yet, and it hasn't come to the surface yet. But from one scan to the next, as things have cleared and she's worked on specific things, it might come up for 6 months down the line, and then she can deal with it. And that's really nice, because you want to approach things methodically, because we don't want to start addressing something that's too deep, stir the pot, and not make any progress. So, I think it's a huge difference looking at traditional testing to bioenergetic testing when it comes to the toxins, because it gives us a pathway and understanding what's going to be easiest on someone and what's that priority right now.
Yeah. And you mentioned something really great about the remedies section. If you can't handle doing like a detox, it won't resonate for you. So kids, for example, pets, small people that are malnourished or very, very sick, a lot of times that's when that homeopathy that's super gentle will resonate, so that they can get started without doing something too drastic that's going to make them worse. And if any lesson I've learned in my life through this whole process is don't go too hard too fast. It takes way longer to recover than if you just went slow to begin with. So
yeah, and that's the power in testing too.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, and I'm stubborn, so even though I was using testing, a lot of times in the beginning, I was doing above and beyond, way more things that I shouldn't have been doing, until finally I gave up and was like, okay, I'm going to just listen to what the scan says. I'm not going to take things into my own hands anymore.
We all have those lessons.